Well, now that that's... Oh, it is over. Okay.
Yeah.
This is Morpho, arriving shortly at LZ.
We called for the helicopter. It takes him, like, about a minute to reach you.
This is Morpho, on station at LZ.
Now, is this guy's real name Morpho, or is that, like, the butterfly? Is that an animal code name? That's an animal code name.
It's an animal code name, yeah. Of course, we still got the MSF logo and everything. And yeah, that little jingle that happens when the helicopter comes is actually a brief bit from the Peace Walker theme.
Oh.
Chico's tape. Think it could give us a clue to Paz's location. Use your iDroid to listen to it.
I bet it does. It probably does. Are you supposed to put wet tapes in a cassette player? I never tried that as a kid. Seems like it'd be bad, right?
Yeah.
Buzz!
On your feet.
Okay.
On Your Feet, the Carole King musical.
It's my favorite one. I'm gonna quiz you a lot of questions.
Did he leave the tape recording while he was being moved?
First
Paz
off,
might be up ahead.
it's not correct. Beautiful is the name of the Carole King musical. You're fired.
Oh. It was a trick question.
Inner vehicles.
On Your Feet is the Gloria Estefan musical.
Must be near the heliport. A gate.
So we're just crawling around, listening to Miller yell at us and children whimper. Video games!
Yeah.
Love them. Can't get enough.
There'll be a warning at the beginning of the next episode, but Ground Zeroes has some questionable content in it.
Did you get a clue out of that? Because I didn't.
Chico left the tape on record while he was being moved.
Metal Gear Solid
Try using what you hear to find Paz.
is, you know, very familiar with having torture segments, but Ground Zeroes goes too far, in my opinion.
But, like, torture segments where Snake is, like, on a comic book science table going,
yeah.
Like,
All right, so there were clues in that tape based on the sounds you heard while traveling to where Chico and Paz were taken.
Helicopter.
So yeah, the first thing was you could hear a flagpole, or a flag swinging around. There's this dude who drives supplies around the base on the truck. We're just gonna hitch a ride with him because he actually takes you, like, pretty close to where you need to be.
seems like trucks are your best friend in this game, no matter the mission.
Yeah, so it's Ground Zeroes and, like, yeah, the first mission of Phantom Pain.
That matches Chico's tape.
Also, yeah, the helipad is here to the left. Yeah, the first mission, Phantom Pain, and Ground Zeroes both have solutions where, like, riding in the back of a truck takes you to where you want to be.
Surveillance camera.
Not every mission does that, though. Most missions have trucks. Like, you can hitch a ride to, like, get somewhere quicker while being hidden the entire time, but most of the time they don't drive you straight to your objective.
My entire Metal Gear Solid 5 walkthrough is a single mnemonic device. If there's a truck, you're in luck. And that's all you need to know.
Opening front gate.
Yeah, there's the gate. That was also in the cassette tape. There you go. And yeah, there's another gun in here. Sometimes trucks have weapons inside of them. Since this big boss, we won't be taking that one. And also, there's way better weapons to find and steal
That's the admin building. Watch
All
your
right, so now the
corners.
big boss is inside the admin building. We will check out Venom Snake. So while we were listening to that cassette tape, these two guards were actually talking, but we couldn't hear them.
Quiet. Seems they tracked down the prisoner that got out. Ah, that guy. Execution order's been given on the download. They're about to do it now. Right. I'll go. Tell him from me, man. It's nothing personal. Yeah.
That escaped prisoner might have intel about the base.
So yeah, you don't have to listen to the cassette tape.
That's handy.
Yep. I mean, you can completely find pause on your own with no info. And there's other stuff going on in the base at the same time. Like, yeah, there's an escaped prisoner somewhere. So if we grab one of the dudes
You can now
talking
either
about it...
interrogate him, knock him out, or kill him. His life
Miller,
is in your hands.
I know about this.
The map has been updated.
It's a good thing you speak grunt.
Yeah. Yeah, the, unfortunately, even in Phantom Pain, all of the... Also, that's where the execution ground is. So we gotta go over there. Which is actually kind of across the area we kind of went across to get to where Chico was, so... I'll just head right back across there. But yeah, every time you interrogate a guard, they act the same way you would interrogate guards in Peace Walker. They just go like...
If anyone can translate grunts into a workable language, it is Big Boss.
That's true, though. He's done a lot of grunting. It's so weird, though. Even though, you know, Snake is now voiced by someone else entirely, it's so weird that he doesn't have at least some of the same speech, like, quirks. Like, there's never a, anywhere.
Kept you waiting, ha.
Yeah, his line read kept you waiting, huh, is so weird, too. It's just because, I mean, he says it fine, it's just because it's not in the same inflection it's always been said. It's, like, suddenly bizarre. And yeah, here's the execution ground. Those guys are all getting ready to shoot that dude in the face.
Wow. That dude must have a powerful face.
Yeah. If you never learned about this guy and never stumbled upon him, or if, you know, you were just going for Chico and Paz and nobody else. Also, whoops, I missed that shot. Uh-oh. Yeah, if you never knew about this guy, at this point, they always find this guy and get ready to execute him. And you can just be sneaking and suddenly hear gunshots really far away, and you're like, what the hell is that? That's them shooting this guy.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
It's not all about you, man. Life goes on. These people have jobs to perform.
Yeah.
Executing defenseless people.
Awful, terrible jobs. Oh, he's only slightly concerned about these bullets whizzing. It's hard to headshot guys at these guard towers because the light kind of blocks their heads. Yeah, there's another patch in this garbage. This guy isn't sitting there the entire time.
A prisoner. You gonna help him? Keep an eye out for nearby enemies. They can
You know,
try to
because he
shoot down the
actually
chopper.
escapes, so he'll actually be hiding in another point of the map for a while until the guards find him.
Guessing you didn't come here just to save my ass. Am I right? Maybe this'll help with whatever you're doing. Hey, if you want inside the admin building, use the drainage channel.
So yeah, rescuing him, he labels a point on the map that shows you like a secret way to get into the admin building, which is possibly where Paz is.
Now I'm gonna guess that way is still like present if you don't, and you could just stumble on it.
Yeah. Well, even though this was a low risk for the helicopter, they can still spot it if there's guards close enough to see it.
Making forced landing. Stand by.
Thankfully, because of what I had been doing with Venom Snake prior, there are no guards close to the AA gun that could actually shoot this helicopter down.
Target is in.
Yeah.
This is also an example of, like, because they saw the helicopter, the base is on alert, but it actually doesn't count as an alert for you because they never saw you.
Okay, so like Accountant Snake is probably finding these loopholes. Are the fourth member of our merry band.
CP, this is Zulu 1. We're standing down here. No hostiles spotted. Over.
Although, even though I'm not caught, now the entire base is, like, on really heavy caution. Also, I accidentally picked this up in an earlier playthrough. The place I'm standing on has an XOF patch on it.
Oh, okay.
It just saves the patches across playthroughs, so whoops, it was already gone. So the drainage channel, you can completely stumble upon yourself. It's small, it's easy to miss. It's in an area that sometimes is heavily guarded, so you might not even try to get there. And also, sometimes these guard towers, the bigger ones with the staircases, have...
Snake, that's not how you do stairs. How drunk are you?
Yeah, look, So, he goes up the very beginning of stairs weird here. He kind of stops and then goes up them. I'm crawling up them because there's a chain link fence with guys that could very easily see me if I were standing up. It's worth going into this one, though, because there's a sniper rifle in here. Yeah, these bigger guard towers generally have something good in them. Sometimes it's just, like,
Take a close
anesthetic ammo. Sometimes it's a sniper rifle, which takes up the other slot. The primary weapons. So on top of, like, you know, Ground Zeroes has that call your friends mechanic that isn't in Phantom Pain. There's also just some differences you can notice playing Ground Zeroes after playing Phantom Pain in that Snake doesn't move. He's a little more sluggish in Ground Zeroes. He has, like, a bit of a wider turning radius.
Well, he's so fatigued. You take a nice 9-year nap and you work all those kinks out.
Yeah, I guess an easier way to describe how the movement of Snake feels in Ground Zeroes is that he feels like he weighs more. He's a little more weighty, his animations are a little bit longer, so he's a little more, like, delayed in doing some actions. Also, the, like, cover mechanic isn't as good in Ground Zeroes because it's too sticky. He wants to take cover in every single object you touch. And sometimes it's hard to get him back out of cover unless you really make him go in, like, the opposite direction.
You're way too exposed there. Find some cover and stick to it.
Yes, it's very sticky, we know. Thank you, Miller.
I should also mention the sneaking suit that Snake is in is the sneaking suit you develop in Peace Walker. It's the same one. Which is also what I'm going to attribute to why Snake is so sticky.
Where are you? CP, this is Zulu 2.
Zulu 2, what's wrong? Come in, Zulu 2.
CP, this is Delta 6. We've taken fire, but there were no shots. Enemy may be using suppressed weapons. Over.
This is CP, understood.
So yeah, that's another cool thing. Even though, like, the actual reaction from the AI is basically the same, they have a lot of extra lines for, like, detailing how they found you. So, like, yeah, there's all those lines going like, oh, we don't know where he is, we didn't hear shots, but we know that they were fired, he has a suppressor, or something like that. It's cool stuff like that that makes it feel like the AI is smarter than it actually is. It's like a lot of the stuff they did in MGS2, where, like, every room had a personalized, like, SWAT clearing animation for all the guards. Even though, you know, they would always miss the locker or the tiny little gap Snake could hide in. It was still cool. Alright, at this point, we found all of the anti-air guns, so we're gonna put C4 in all of them.
And then we're going to get a really, really big helicopter and pick up the whole base.
Yep.
They'll never stop us.
It's gonna be a whole new strut. So yeah, that's a decent example right there of like the limitations of reflex mode. Because like, if you're getting caught while you're diving or doing something else, you can't shoot them in that brief period of slow motion time. So you're still gonna get caught. Also, when I'm sprinting around here is a good example of how Big Boss just feels a little more sluggish because there are lots of me slightly missing the thing I want to get to. Like, oh, I'm gonna hop up here while sprinting. Whoop, whoop. He's just a little slower feeling. But yeah, even though it's on alert, this portion here isn't lit up too well by lights. And because of where the guards all went, where they last saw me, I was actually just able to get out of alert just by sprinting around.
Well, that's why you're the best.
That's why he's the best. And yeah, that drainage channel the guy was talking about is hidden right over here.
Oh, wow, that is hidden.
It's pretty sneaky. But it's a decent way to get yourself in the admin building without, like, being caught at all. It's also a really good place to hide if you're in
and
alert.
make friends.
And make friends, that little mouse. One of the issues with the map in Ground Zeroes, though, is that there aren't very many hidey holes. You know, generally in Metal Gear, you can hide in lockers and stuff, but there isn't any of that here, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now that Venom is also in the admin building, let's go back to Vapor Snake. Messing around with the truck.
We got a great big convoy trucking through the night. Boop, boop.
So yeah, this is another way to get inside the admin building.
You just sort of go there.
You just sort of go. I mean, it's right by the front gate that the truck went through, which is pretty heavily guarded, but yeah, if you can get there, it's not locked or anything. Also, you know, I knocked that guy out with an empty magazine. You gotta be really careful with your timing, because whoop! Just barely over his head. It's actually a little difficult to knock guys out with empty magazines because they have lots of different animations for when they're shocked that there's a guy right next to them.
I really want this one on my dodgeball team, though.
So a lot of the time, like, you have to know which way they're going to be bobbing ahead of time so that you can, like, lead your magazine throw.
Let go and draw. Just be sure of your surroundings before you do.
All fire teams, return to your posts. Out.
Yep, another XOF patch up here.
XOF.
I'll pick up this... Reset this boy to be very asleep. Unfortunately, you can't hide bodies in dumpsters in Ground Zero, so you can in the Phantom Pain, though. Also, getting caught by security cameras,
Oh no, knock it out.
not a big deal.
All fire teams.
I should note, magazines only have that power in reflex mode. Bopping a guy in the face, a security camera, or a guy in the face normally won't knock them out.
Investigating now. Out.
I want this mission to feature a base commander, and I want that base commander to look exactly like Jack Nicholson. I need a few good men to be Metal Gear canon.
Oh, man.
CP, this is Zulu 4. We've arrived on the scene. Checking the area. Over. CP, understood. Don't let your guard down. Out.
Alright, so this area just has 3 guys all holding guard by something. So, it's probably Paz. Hey look, there's Paz in there.
Alright, time to throw a flame grenade and kill Paz so that she can't snitch, and you win.
Mission accomplished.
Big hug.
Yep.
Oh, he was not ready for that hug.
Nah. Was repelled from that hug. So yeah, because Vapor Snake went straight to the admin building, he's the first to find pause. Oh, big boss. Chilling out in the truck. Now, I haven't tried it, but I feel there may be a chance that it's actually possible to take this truck and drive it pretty close to where Paz is. Basically, down to the hallway where she is. Also, you can command guys to get down on the ground.
Speak.
The map has been updated.
So yeah, you can just... Sometimes they'll just label more dudes on the map for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think he labeled that dude, actually. That is a guy that's a good example of, like, oh, I can't really reach that guy easily.
Call your friends.
Somebody, get over here!
Well, we'll have a guy sound a little unconvincing, but he put forth some effort getting this guy over here.
He's not trying to get an Emmy or anything. He's just trying to not get shot.
What the?
That guy on the ground got knocked out too, just because I pushed his friend really hard. Further in the game, we'll notice this more, but Metal Gear Solid 5's tone does try to go a little more like grim and serious a lot of the time.
No.
I mean, it'll be super apparent next episode. Oh no, but I'm very happy that at least with the stealth and the actual gameplay, it's still kind of comical and slapstick a lot of the time.
Yeah, for sure.
The reactions of all the guards, like, he saw that guy on the ground, instead of just going like, hey, what's going on? You know, he's extremely shocked. He takes 5 steps back, processes this information, then goes, what's wrong? Now that we're actually in a building, there is some actual security cameras, but they have a huge blind spot on the bottom as always, so not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm. God. If Big Boss ever hit hard times, he could just, like, rob any convenience store,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah, totally.
He'd throw a rock at that big parabolic mirror.
Gesundheit. Another thing with reflex mode. One, it's rad when you get really good timing with reflex mode. But also reflex mode, if you don't know who caught you, when you go to aim your gun, it snaps to the closest guy who caught you.
Oh, nifty.
Yeah. Reflex mode had actually ended
I
before
didn't
I shot
even
him.
realize. Yeah, I didn't even realize you got caught at first. I just thought the game was highlighting how badass that dude getting his teeth knocked out was.
Yeah, that's... there's a lot of times you can, like, deliberately trigger reflex mode just to make things look really cool. We'll get into some of that stuff later. Sometimes you just get a CQC throw the right way and it just looks rad.
Yeah, they just took care of it. All right, getting back up top.
So is that referring to the prisoner execution then?
That's actually referring to another event that just happens on the base. So there's some extra conversations we don't see in the main playthrough. Also, I tried to nail this guy with a throw, but alas, he was a bit too far away.
You can move back
So
and forth.
those dumpsters I was just by that I dropped a guy next to. Depending when you go to those dumpsters, there's extra stuff in the trash. So like if you went here before getting Chico, on those dumpsters is a cassette tape that the soldiers recorded of an interrogation session. Now, because I went here after getting Chico, those guys are having conversation about how they already threw the trash away. Mm-hmm. If I came here even earlier...
I thought taking out the garbage was some manner of code.
If I came here even earlier than Vapor Snake did, those guards by pods will actually have a conversation of like, hey, did you throw away that conversation? We recorded that interrogation? And the guy's like, no. And they're like, oh shit, throw that away. And that's like the hint to like go to the trash because there's a collectible cassette tape. So yeah, in a later video, we'll be getting that stuff. There's small like conversations and stuff that just happen in events like that makes Ground Zeroes feel pretty cool and like kind of alive. It kind of feels like a Hitman mission in that there's just stuff happening whether you're there or not. Also an interesting thing, I'm carrying this guy with me. Well, I'll be showing off more in later missions, but carrying a guy with you when you're far away or it's dark actually increases your camouflage because from far away, more of you has the same camo as fellow soldiers. So from far away, they'll think you're a normal soldier. All right, and Venom Snake. We've got all of our C4 set up, ready to go when we need it. But for now, still keeping a low profile until we need to blow everything up.
Yeah.
The surveillance camera.
But yeah, there's another storehouse here with some different stuff in it. So the rifle you come in with is not the same rifle that the guards carry. So like if you run out of suppressor for the rifle you brought in with you, the only way you can get a second suppressor is by coming here, because they actually have another of your gun. It's the only place to get it.
And D-mines. Hey.
D-mines. And also a shotgun. And since our suppressor is running out, and also I'm probably going to be blowing things up.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the actual rifle. I should also mention, you know, okay, like an AMD-114 pistol. That sounds like a gun. It's not. Every Metal Gear game up until this point, well, since Metal Gear Solid 1 at least, has always used real guns and firearms.
Right.
Ground Zeroes and Metal Gear Solid and the Phantom Pain do not. They are all made-up guns that, according to people who know way more about guns than I do, all the guns look fairly, like, close to real guns because they're like the shotgun won't just be a real shotgun. It'll, like, take real aspects of, like, 3 different shotguns and smash them together.
Ah.
Yeah. Also, yeah, you can see in reflex mode there, the gun, the game actually does, like, model the actual bullets being shot from guns. They're just not like laser guns, so there is actual bullet travel time and bullet drop and whoops! Everything's fine.
And you're just that good.
Yep. I've always found it interesting that, like, despite a lot of goofy stuff in the Metal Gear games and, you know, how slapstick the guards act, like, they put so much, like, simulation-style stuff into how the guns work.
Anyway, Tiger reunited with a favorite peace-loving turncoat super spy. Hey, I haven't seen you since you tried to kill me with a gigantic robot.
Come up with any more, J-pop songs?
Boss.
Oh, don't you mean Pacifica Ocean?